dreams. New York, big city of dreams. What's going on? It's Jealous from Knick Of Time show. Here to give you that Knicks talk just in Knick Of Time. And we're here just to talk about a heartbreaker, man. Heartbreaking news. And we all knew we were going to get here eventually, sort of. But we're here now. All right. Elephant in the room has been for the last few years the dynamic between Julius Randle's playing time and Obi Toppin's playing time. The eighth pick for the New York Knicks a few years ago has not received a lot of playing time since he's been here, and we starting to see a little bit of signs that he is not satisfied. Now, despite Obi, he's been really friendly, complimentary, been a good soldier in front of the camera, but some news has been reported from Fred Katz that he's not been all that happy, and there was an issue that happened during the Heat Knicks Miami series. And the excerpt from Fred Katz reads, Toppin yelled at Thibodeau in front of teammates, so fresh off a loss that they were still in uniform. Assistant coach Rick Brunson stepped in to stand up for his boss. Toppin and Brunson got into it for a moment. Randle, Evan Fournier, and Josh Hart next pulled Toppin aside to cool him off. And this is all after Toppin only played 6 minutes and the Heat lost to the Knicks. Did not play in the third, fourth quarter of that game, and he scored 18 points in that first game versus the Heat. So, you know, the confrontation and the emotions boiled over. And this is coming off of the news that Toppin is not happy with his role with the Knicks, right, Ryan?
Yeah, so Stephen Bondi of the Daily News reported that a source said Toppin was frustrated at times with his role, although he refrained from complaining to the media. And then he went on to say that a league executive tapped Toppin's trade value as a late first rounder. And this is all speculation, but it has been reported that the Pacers are interested in Toppin, and the Pacers currently own the 26th and 29th picks in this upcoming draft. And basically, they highlighted that because seeing where Toppin's value is and seeing that the Pacers were actually interested in him, and the Knicks might want to trade into the draft, that's something to look out for.
Yeah. Personally, I don't think the Knicks, we talked about it a little bit behind the scenes. Don't really see the Knicks trading into this year's draft. We've been trading away draft picks for the last few years. So I don't see us trying to get a pick this season personally, unless it's going to be involved in a trade. If anything, maybe before like another year, if anything. But that's just my opinion. Lee, I don't know. What are your thoughts on this whole debacle between Obi Toppin and Thibodeau fighting and what it means for the future of Obi Toppin and the Knicks?
My first 2 months on Twitter, I was so happy. I was like, oh, wow, I found all these Knicks fans. It was a place to vent frustration. It was a place to roast people. It's a place to crack jokes and have people understand what you're joking about when you talk about Shannon Anderson, or the Andre Bargnani trade. And now that I'm my first season on its Twitter, I've realized it is a hellscape. And you only have two sides. Like most things in America, there's only two sides. And one side is the horrible, miserable people who hate everything Knicks related. They hate Tibbs, they hate Leon, they hate Randle, they hate RJ. They even have hate for Jalen Brunson. They hate every move that the Knicks don't make and every guy they don't get. And then you have the other side that's full of Knicks interns, where I feel like these people are there's five guys. They form a chair for Leon Rose to sit his fat ass on every day, and they fetch his coffee and they fetch his Big Macs or whatever he's eating. Is that there's no middle ground, and the middle ground to me, if you want to have nuance about the Obi Toppin situation, is that he is probably Leon Rose and Tom Thibodeau's greatest failure. I think the lack of development, the lack of opportunity, the decrease in minutes from 2 seasons ago to this season, the fact that his minutes dropped this season I don't think there's any excuse or argument that was a wrong move.
Yeah.
There have been multiple times where Obi could have been traded when his value was high and then Leon declined, which was a missed opportunity.
Was his value high at one point?
Yeah, I think at the trade deadline this year and the previous year, I think there was enough opportunity there for him to help a playoff team or to a team that's rebuilding that has a star that's more win now that we could have acquired, and Obi could have been a centerpiece. I think both trade deadlines in the last 2 years, there was some opportunity there, and it was squandered. Tibbs has squandered him, and Tibbs has done a great job unlocking Grimes, IQ, Mitch, Randall, Brunson. All these guys have gotten better playing under Tibbs. Even RJ has become a more efficient player playing under Tibbs. Obi is the one black hole, I think, and black mark on Tom Thibodeau's record and Leon Rose's record during their tenure here in New York. There's no excuse for it. There's no arguing around it. There's no making excuses or making up for the why Toppin hasn't developed. He has deficiencies in defense. He has been inconsistent in opportunities that he's been given, but I don't think he's been given enough of a consistent opportunity to really show what player that he is. And it's a sad fact that it's going to be a squandered asset that we had to pick someone like Tyrese Halliburton that filled a more of a positional need. And now we're going to get rid of him for pennies on the dollar or as part of a package, a larger package, hopefully for someone who can come help us now at Zach LaVine.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, so I guess to kind of harp on what we was talking about. I think the whole Obi Toppin situation, it's just an unfortunate situation for Obi to be in because, in my opinion at least, I think it's hard to blame Thibs and it's hard to blame Obi for the way things have turned out. Because if you check Knicks Twitter, you have some fans that get on Obi saying that, why people are rating him so high. He's not that caliber of a player and this and that, and there's so many things that he needs to work on, etc. Then you have another section of Knicks fans that blame Thibodeau because they feel like Thibodeau hasn't given Obi the right amount of minutes or the minutes that he's deserving of to showcase his talent and for him to improve. And the way I see it, the Knicks made a mistake drafting Obi Toppin in the 2020 draft, I believe.
Yeah.
Because if the Knicks have a coach like Thibodeau, and you know that Thibodeau likes a certain type of player on his team, then you have to draft a player that's going to fit into a system that Thibodeau is going to play and he's going to trust. There's a reason why Mitchell Robinson gets playing time and has improved. There's a reason why Quickly has gotten playing time to improve, and he can go down the line, Grimes, RJ, down the line, etc. Because I think one of the main components those guys have, outside of maybe RJ, is the defensive aspect. Thibodeau likes guys who's going to work hard on defense, defend, and Obi's just not that kind of player. Obi's not the type of player that fits into Thibs' system. So if the Knicks, and I understand why the Knicks front office I understand why they drafted Obi Toppin in 2020 because I think at that time they did not believe in Julius Randle.
Yeah, Randall was on his way out.
Exactly. I feel like they didn't believe in Julius Randle. That's why they drafted Obi Toppin. They didn't expect Julius Randle to pop out next season and all of a sudden become an all NBA player.
Yeah.
And I think at that time, the front office should have kind of made up their mind and be like, you know what? Okay, Julius Randle ended up being an all NBA player. Are we going to stick with Obi and give him the minutes that he needs to succeed? Or are we going to stick with Julius Randle and then move on from Obi? And then maybe at that time, seeing Obi was a draft pick that year, his value would probably still be high. They probably could have got something substantial for him at that time rather than just keeping him on the squad and not giving him sufficient playing time, etc. So I don't really put it on Thibs, and it's definitely not Obi's fault as well. I think the front office kind of messed it up, and that's probably one of the draft picks where you can look at the front office and be like, you know what, they probably made a mistake when they drafted Obi. Yeah.
There is. I always go back to this. The thumbs down year. I do say, I'll keep saying this. That year when Randall just quit, he was out of it, he was mentally checked out, and we just kept trotting him out there, playing whole third quarters, playing, whole, 35, 37, 38 minutes a game when he was playing like absolute trash, not playing defense, not even trying. And Obi's out here, not playing perfectly, but he's putting in the effort. To me, I'll always say that is the year, or that was the time if you were going to play Obi, and actually kind of have it be fair that he's playing more minutes. That was the time. Sure. So I don't completely blame Tibbs because of the front office blunder, but that year, thumbs down year when Randall was going crazy, that was the year to play Obi some more minutes for sure for me. This season that passed, I can't say that. Randall balled out, reached All NBA again. There might be some people who say, maybe we should play small ball. Maybe you could play Obi and Randall some small ball together. And Tips tried it. It didn't necessarily work out the way I wanted it to. So I can understand his hesitancy to play Randall and Obi together. But listen, I feel like there's a little bit of blame to go around. There's a little bit of blame to go around. The defense, some of it is the defense, some of it is Tibbs' opportunity to play. Some of it is the front office should have never drafted in the first place. But some of it is just, Randall came out and did what he did. Now, moving forward, we're in a place now where we're at a crossroads, and honestly, like, the right thing to do is to set Obi free. Like, and I think, and we all told us behind the scenes as well, these stories are coming out. We think you guys think this, right? These stories are being leaked on purpose. Like, I do feel like Obi's camp is like, we played nice for so long. We've been a good soldier. Let's put some heat on this thing because I need to get out. But the reality is, when you're looking at the patterns of the front office does not like to sell low on any asset. So they're going to try their best to try to get something of significance for Obi Toppin. I know Bondi has reported that the Pacers have a 20-something pick, 21st, 26th pick to trade over for that. I do not believe that's going to happen. I do believe if Obi is gone, it's going to be for a bigger start this season, or he might be dealt by the trade deadline in February, if anything else. That's my prediction, but it's unfortunate, man, because I do feel like Obi has a lot of promise. I'm not sure if he's an all-star caliber player, but I do feel like he can at least give you 20 a game, and then he's going to try hard. He's going to move the ball, and give him more time. You don't know what he can turn into.
Yeah, I mean, for a team that doesn't have very many lottery picks in the last 30 years, it's a hell of a squander for one that had a really high ceiling once he was drafted. And I can't believe a coach of Tom Thibodeau's acumen, all of his interns are always talking about all of his accomplishments and winning record. A coach of that standard, 2-time coach of the year, can't figure out how to play Obi more minutes. Right? That's where I think that I don't agree with Ryan's assessment that Tibbs doesn't have any blame. I think there's absolutely equal blame between the front office and Leon and Tom Thibodeau in trying to find a way to utilize him, no matter what it is. He shouldn't be playing 12, 14 minutes a game. It's inexcusable, and he shouldn't be forced to be a spot up shooter in the corner, right? To not unleash his fast break transition game to make this not the worst team in the league in terms of pace. It's unbelievable that Tom Thibodeau has squandered all this talent and potential in Obi Toppin. Luckily, he's done so much other good things, Tibbs that is, in terms of unlocking all these other players, that it's miserable to focus just on the situation with Obi. But it also can't be ignored. It's a blemish on both him and Leon Rose's record.
Yeah, I'll just say this. Like, I do understand where you're coming from, and I guess you can say that, yeah, Thibs does deserve some blame because he could have found more minutes to play Obi and along those lines. But I don't know, the way I see it, I'm like, okay, you have a coach. Like, not every coach is a Eric Spoelstra where he could try to fit players in. Even if this player doesn't fit his system completely, he could try to fit that player in and try to get the best out of that player, etc. Like, you have a certain coach, that he sets a culture, and you know that you have to try to find players that fit within that culture. Knowing the type of coach he is and the type of players that fits within his system, why are you gonna draft a player that's outside of a player that doesn't fit into his system, or a player that doesn't fit the qualities that he looks for in a player, for him to utilize that player and actually give him the time that he needs to develop? That's all I'm trying to say. That's why I put him on the front office, because I'm like, the front office should have been more aware of this and be like, you know what? Let's find a guy that actually fits into his system and the culture that he's trying to build, rather than try to draft a player that does not fit his culture and does not fit his system, and then expect him to fit a square peg into a circular hole. You know what I mean? So that's the reason why I put him more in the front office, more so than Thibs. But I do agree that, probably a more creative coach would have found a way to play Obi, even if Obi doesn't exactly fit, the type of system that he's trying to run.
Jealous made a great point that Leon has never sold low on an asset, and I would counter that, agree and counter that Tibbs did Obi no favors in increasing his value at any point in time during his tenure here with the Knicks, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, man. I've been feeling this one sucks, man. This one sucks. It's funny, we've been saying this for a long time that one of them has to go, one of them has to go. We've been saying this for like 4 years. And it seems like we're almost at the end point of this. Hopefully, it's resolved soon. Interestingly enough, the paper, Bondi had an interesting point talking about there's no rush to move him, just in case. And I know Lee's happy about this, just in case Zion becomes available or something like that. And Julius Randle is shipped out for an all-star who moves the needle, then Obi becomes more available. So that's another reason why I feel like Obi is not going anywhere. Obi is not being picked. No, Obi is not going to be shopped for a draft pick. I'd be very surprised if that happens, if he just gets flipped for a pick. The only reason I would see him being flipped for a pick is if that pick is immediately flipped for a player that of need, an all-star caliber player of need. That's the only reason. That's the only way I can see it happening. But I've said everything I have to say. I don't know if you guys want to add anything.
I think that's the only way that the Obi situation doesn't become one of the most embarrassing situations in the last 10 years, is if he is part of a package that brings in an immediate impact player like Zach LaVine. I'm not even going to go with Zion, because I feel like Zion is a very slim chance of happening. LaVine feels more of a possibility. If Obi's a piece that's included in the package, then I think that we utilize that asset well. If we end up trading him to like Indiana for the 26th pick, I'm going to be disgusted. Yeah. That's a horrible return for Obi Toppin. Like, just the potential that exists in him as a player. Not even like the 8th pick to the 26th pick, but just the potential you're giving up if we did like the 26th pick and Duarte. Bro, that's a bust. There's no celebrating that trade.
Yeah, there isn't. And it's even kind of been talked about that there has been Obi rumblings at the trade deadline that just passed, and teams were offering the Knicks one thing, and the Knicks were wanting way more than what's been offered. So that gives you kind of an idea of how the Knicks see Obi versus how the league sees Obi. Then that should give you an idea that we hold him in high regard. But value is value. Value is value, man. I can believe I have $100 in my hand, but everybody else thinks it's $100, $50. Then I really don't have $100 in my hand. So it is what it is right now. We might just have $50 right So we'll see how that goes. All right. All right, man. That is the show. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel, man. Stay tuned with the KOT show to get that Knicks news, and we talking about topics and everything that's happening near the Knicks in the NBA. All right. That is our show. All right. We out of here.
Peace. Free Obi.
Free Obi.
Free Obi.
New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.